And now we have arrived to Chapter 19 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. This chapter and Chapter 20 of 2 Blue Vortex will be my final reactions of this tenure. I'll still do chapter previews and chapter reviews going forward, and I will be moving into a different direction of more of the video essays. Let's go ahead and grab that kunai of yours, and let's get into the action. Oh yeah!
And there's a change going on in this world right now, yeah.
So on this cover we got Moegi. Title of the chapter is Konohamaru-chan. So let's flip the page. So we got a really cool looking badass sword, and here is Shinki, much more taller, and actually nice hoodie too. It's a pretty cool hoodie. And then he's having his discussion with Araya. I keep calling him Arya, but same difference I guess. So Shinki says, that should do it. Go on, take it. And then Araya says, what do you do? And then Shinki says, I infused the blade with my chakra. If you apply your wind-style sword jutsu to it, you should be able to manipulate iron sand somewhat, similar to how I can. Alright, he's got a buff there, yeah! A sword buff granted by his fellow comrade. And then as Araya just basks in the glory of his newfound buffed up sword, he says, you'll have no chance against me when we spar. You sure about this? I know I read that backwards, but just go with it. Then Shinki says, give me a break. If anything, this will be a perfect handicap. And Araya says, we'll see about that. And indeed, this is going to come in handy for this upcoming battle that is ongoing. So then we get Gaara here, and Yodo, and I keep forgetting this guy's name. Oh my freaking lord, I just spaced out what his name was. But anyway, I'll look it up later. But anyway, it's for all the purpose of protecting Father better. That's why I want to expand our powers as much as possible. Then Araya says, Father this, Father that. All you talk about is your adopted father. Shinki says, of course. What's wrong with that? Araya says, you should pay Yodo some attention too. Shinki then says, who's the hypocrite now? All you talk about is Yodo. I mean, Yodo's a blonde hottie, you know. I don't blame him. Don't blame him at all. And then Araya says, it's not like that. And then now we're back to the present. And then he does his slashing technique, kind of like Zoro, but different. Load, Sand-sealing Blade. And then it looks like Mitsuki is freed from the iron sand.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Mitsuki is free. He notices the iron sand just dissipating. Sadara says, nice. The iron sand restraining Mitsuki has been dispelled too. And then Mitsuki says, thank you, Araya. Thank you indeed. You have become the miniature MVP here. He says, give your thanks to Shinki after we've rescued him. Then now looks like he's taking charge here. He says, Mitsuki Sarada, you two focus on attacking him. I'll take care of his iron sand for you. And then of course Sarada says, roger that. We got the Shinki clone, Ryu. He says, well, aren't you being awfully confident? I see you're totally dissing me.
That's exactly right.
But that's okay, cause it's pumping me up more. Want to play Pump Up the Jam? Now we see this elaborate black sand, black iron sand, everywhere. It's everywhere. No, really, it's everywhere. Araya, he knows what's coming, and let's see what he does. So we're at page 9, and I swear, this is going to be so good in the anime when this finally comes out. So we got the black iron sand on its attack, almost like its own little serpent, in a way. And Arya, he dissipates it, dispels it with his sword, and swoosh, Ryu says, And then Yodo senses something and says, from 7 o'clock. And there's a, kind of like that movie Tremors, that one classic 90s movie. It just comes out of the sand and dives. Exactly like Tremors. Wow. I haven't even watched that movie in years, and wow, exactly like Tremors. And I'm guessing Yodo has good sensory there, so that's great. She is really working it with the team. That's great. I want to see more of that. And so, Araya, of course, sploosh. That's dispelled now. And then Ryu then says, I see, you're not just all talk. And then here comes Sarda. Looks like she's advancing. And now she does her fire style, fireball jutsu. Boom! That's exactly right, said Macho Man.
No doubt about it, yeah.
And of course, Ryu, the Shinki clone, he just casually blocks it with his iron sand, which was kind of expected anyway. Page 13. And then looks like Mitsuki does his own little tremors move with his snakes. And that catches Ryu by surprise. His eyes are widened, like he's seen the monster, which, it's actually quite accurate. And here he is being wrapped up. We continue with page 14. And now we have Mitsuki in his Sage Mode, using his Sage Mode snakes to restrain Ryu. And then what's coming next? And then Ryu, it looks like he has eyes of panic. A lot of great detail on that Renegon eye. That's really good. And then looks like he just turns into sand to escape being wrapped up from the snakes. And he literally just disappeared into thin dust. And Yodo says, "You got him?" And Mitsuki replies with, "No, not at all. He disintegrated himself and evaded my attack. It seems he can turn himself into iron sand too." And then Araya says, "Be careful. He'll control your bodies again."
Super guarantee.
And then it looks like Yodo is trying to sense something. And then she then says, "Hey everyone, it's faint, but at 2 o'clock, I can hear sand grains rubbing together." All right, we appreciate the Supergirl level of hearing. Yeah. You go, girl. That sounded cringe, but I don't care. And so now we have a lovely shot of Sarda. And then we see the iron sand in a flurry of the air. I think that's where he is. Araya says, "On it." Looks like he knows exactly where to strike. And here he is with the Loadstone Sand-sealing Blade. Wow, that is so good. I gotta really just zoom in on this. This is so good. This would make a great poster at a Comic-Con. If you're an artist watching this, take note. Design this. Design it and make money off of it. He has his sword pointed at the dissipated iron sand. And looks like something is somewhat forming. Then here's Ryu. He is back together again. And then Ryu, he says, "What the? He can gather up iron sand as well?"
That's exactly right.
Surprise! Araya says, "Go for it!" And here comes Mitsuki with his snake, kind of riding it on the head there. That's really cool. It's gonna look so good in the anime. And then now, on page 19, it's like Mitsuki delivers a blow right in his chest. Yeah, right in his chest. That's really good. Gotta zoom in on that. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
You go, Mitsuki. And so, of course, he gets overwhelmed by it. And it looks like he has some eyes of frustration there. All right, I'm liking the outcome here. Yeah. Now we're at page 20. Here comes Sarda with her Sharingan. It's about time. And she says, "You're not getting away." And now here's her Shidori charge. Very good. This is very good. I gotta really zoom in on this. This is gonna look good on a poster. Again, if you're an artist that has found my video, this is gonna make a good poster. Make it. Make lots of money off of it at a convention. So then now, the Shidori strikes. Boom.
And you're hurting bad.
But it looks like a part of him disintegrated, so we can only guess what's probably most likely going to happen. He's just going to keep regenerating himself with this sand.
That's exactly right.
So page 21, Ryu says, "Grr," and disappeared again. Of course he would do that. Right, so here he is. He has turned himself into iron sand dust again, and then Yoda says, "You got him?" Sarda says, "No, it was too shallow. He just turned himself into sand and hit again." Mitsuki says, "Damn it." Araya says, "We'll track him down to the ends of the earth."
That's exactly right, yeah, and I don't care where it is. It can be east of the Mississippi, west of London, England, south of Mars, and north of the South Pole. It doesn't really matter, yeah.
Love that pep talk. Love that pep talk. Then now we're on page 22. We got the Moegi clone Matsuri having a lovely conversation with Konohamaru. She says, I just want to call you Konohamaru-chan. What's the big deal? That's pretty possessive there, but alright. And then Konohamaru says, I told you already, I don't like it. It doesn't feel right. Alright, Konohamaru, way to put up a boundary. Yeah, you go, man. And then looks like her branches, if I want to call it that, or yeah, basically her branches just extend out, and Matsuri says, and yet, you let that wench Moegi call you that. It's so unfair. Jeez, how possessive you are. And then she continues with, I can't change how I feel, and I shouldn't have to explain myself either. Now we're at page 23. She then goes on and says, how can you be so selfish? Just let me call you what I want. Konohamaru then counters with, you're the one being selfish. Why are you so fussy over what to call me anyway? And then Matsuri says, fussy? Hypocrite! Then she says, you're the picky one. Sorry, Toby. And he's just getting wrapped up. He's almost like a little flower himself. Man, talk about psycho bitch. Sounds like a really ugly case with an ex-girlfriend.
I have trust issues now.
So anyway, we're on page 24. And so Ida is just watching Konohamaru have his hand stick out, trying to get free of the wrapping of the Moegi clone. And then Ida says, I think the issue isn't what she wants to call you so much as it is that you two don't share a relationship that allows it. But that's beyond you, isn't it, Konohamaru-chan? Well, see, she gets to call him Konohamaru-chan. I see how it is. Anyway, page 25, got Kashin Koji. He says, Ida, what's the situation? Ida then replies with, Konohamaru's in a pinch. He royally pissed off Matsuri and is about to get devoured. And then Kashin Koji says, what about Sarda and the others? Can they take down Ryu? Oh, looks like Boruto has expressed his concern about the fight as well. Ida then says they're holding their own, but it's still too early to tell how things will end. So they're in no position to go help Konohamaru right now. And Boruto, he looks like he's ready. He's ready to step in. It's like, put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. For those who have ever played sports, you know, understand the feeling. So then Kashin Koji says, I know you want to rush over there, but don't. Now is not the time. Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. I swear I'll do good. I swear I'll do good. Well, anyway, we're now on page 26, right? We're back to Jura. Looks like he's having some kind of Shinju board meeting. So then he says, ideally, in my opinion, life forms should obey their instincts to strive towards the goal known as evolution. And then looks like Hidari, of course, is the quiet one, just listening. And then Jura continues the board meeting with, yet because of their social nature, humans bind themselves with restraints called reasoning, dulling that instinct. Jura then says, it's a harmless side effect of acquiring intelligence, and it's why humankind carries a fatal flaw, unlike us divine trees who stay true to our instincts. And then the bug clone, he says, I see. Poor humans, but it's got nothing to do with us. It was a very productive Shinju board meeting there, okay. So then Jura has more to say. Not so fast, for that isn't the only harmful effect of intelligence. Looks like Hidari is really listening in on this. This other concept carries with it the risk of causing even us divine trees serious problems. It's called love. Oh man, he has discovered the power of love. If Naruto's not here, he would give him the power of no-tog no jutsu, or whatever the hell we call it. Page 28, alright, looks like Konohamaru is still struggling. Nothing but garbage. Come on, man.
Nothing but garbage.
Do something. Anything.
Garbage.
And he's really wrapped up. Matsuri says, my head is so full of thoughts of you. It's driving me batty. And she then further exclaims here, why do I have to have these feelings? It's so painful and makes me crazy mad. And Konohamaru says, hey, calm down. And then looks like her face has mellowed out a bit, and she says, yeah, and that's precisely why. Because if I devoured you, I wouldn't ever have to feel this way again. And look at those creepy eyes, those creepy Renegon eyes. Konohamaru is sweating for his life. And then Jura, looks like the board meeting is still ongoing here, so he says, each of the Enochika Cho trio are accomplished shinobi, but they prioritize Himawari's safety over their own teams. What's shocking is that they were all aware of how foolish that decision was. So now we go from page 29 to page 30. Jura then continues the board meeting with, in particular, Yamanaka Inoji lost his composure and ended up needlessly losing his life. Joke's on you, he was healed. But anyway, the bug clone, he just continues chilling like a villain, literally like a villain. And Jura then says, both of these foolish acts were caused by love derailing their thinking. Then Hidari says, so what is this love thing? Is it a disease? Then Jura says, the term itself appears in many tomes, but it seems impossible to pin down. At the very least, the fact that it can cause serious trouble in life forms cannot be overlooked. It's really sounding like Spock from Star Trek here. Well, anyway, page 31. Even though we've switched over to Konohamaru and Matsuri, he continues on with, I'm sure you hear it too. Our instincts, screaming and warning that we must understand this dangerous concept, love, and overcome it. Now, page 32, we're back in the battle here. The iron sand has dissipated here. Yoda's trying to use Sensory's ability to try to sense the iron sand's next move. And then she says, I hear something above us. He's up in the sky. And Araya says, get ready. I'll drag him out. Gets his sword ready. Page 33. And yes, Ryu is in the sky. Araya says, hide all you want, but it's useless. And looks like something comes out of the belt mark here of Ryu. Could this be the claw grimes? Let's find out. Page 34, and yes, the claw grimes have now emerged. 1, 2, 3. That I can see so far on this panel. And then Araya says, what? Sarda calls out, claw grimes! Or what I've been calling these raptoids. 10-tail raptoids. Because look at those hind feet. Look at those hind feet right there. Looks like a raptor. Velociraptor from Jurassic Park. Page 35. It looks like Sage Mode Mitsuki has his snakes, and he bashes all those claw grimes that were incoming. And then, ooh, this is really cool. I was wondering when Sarda would do this attack. Phoenix Flower Jitsu! Oh yeah, up and smoking on those claw grimes. Boosh! Yeah!
Bang, bang, yeah!
Now for page 36, and looks like there are more that are coming. Looks like they're kind of cloning off of each other. And Mitsuki says, damn it, can't get them all. There are way too many. And the last guy to say that in Star Wars got blew up. So now those claw grimes have landed. Looks like it's munch time on the hot little blonde Yodo. They must love vanilla. Anyway, page 37, Yoda says bastard. And then she gets bitten. That sucks. And then we have Arya. He goes Yodo and then slices that. Yep, he just slices and dices that claw grime raptoid. Very good shot. Very good artwork. Now, page 38. Looks like the blade is stuck. And Araya says it's stuck. And then here we go for Ryu. He is now entered. And wow, they are getting overwhelmed by the claw grime raptoids here. Ryu just enters in. Yep, they're in trouble. They are all in trouble. And looks like Ryu, he comes directly to that raptoid claw grime where the sword is lodged. Let me guess, he's going to take it away. And on page 39, yes, page 39, and looks like Araya is just struggling to get the blade out. Looks like another claw grime, he absorbs that semi-sliced claw grime, and he's gone. Like it was a magic trick. So now he no longer has a sword. We're at page 40. Araya says, what the? It took my blade with it. Mitsuki notices this, and Ryu says, now you have no way to defend against my iron sand. And Yodo, she covering up that bite. Kind of surprised she didn't turn into a tree, unless she has like special cloth armor that protected her. You never know. You just never know, but I do find it unusual that she hasn't turned into a tree yet, unless it's going to be a delayed reaction. Who knows? We'll have to find out. Probably in the next chapter. So then Sarda says, crap, this is bad. And now for the final page, page 41. Konohamaru, he really is getting devoured. It's almost like he's getting devoured. Almost like he got trapped in quicksand, but it's just these extended tree branches of Matsuri. She then says, so, let's now become one. Konohamaru-chan. To be continued. To be continued. Alright, action-packed. Something that I expected to be action-packed. And of course, we can expect Chapter 20 to be a bit of a twist of itself. I am your handsome King Nerdy Bear. Until next time.